Everyone loves a cheap cruise until it feels cheap. When it comes to budget cruising in the US, there are three names that dominate the market: Carnival, MSC, and the newest contender, Margaritaville at Sea. I've spent enough time on all three to know exactly who delivers the best experience for your money and who proves that saving a few bucks can end up costing you far more than the money it saves. Hey y'all, I'm Evan with Family at Sea, where we help make every cruise unforgettable. Budget cruising has exploded in the US, but figuring out which line actually gives you the best experience for your money isn't as simple as comparing fares. Each one promises big vacations at small prices, but they get there in very different ways. So in this video, we're breaking down what each one does best, where they fall short, and which actually feels like money well spent. If you're ready, I am. Let's go. Before we jump in, a quick note to let you know exactly how I'm approaching these rankings. To keep things fair, I'll be ranking each cruise line from 1 to 3 across 8 different categories. Everything from ship experience to dining and crew and everything in between. Like golf, the cruise line with the lowest composite score across all 8 categories will be our winner. This isn't about which cruise line is the cheapest, it's about which one gives you the best overall experience for your dollar. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Before we get into the onboard experience, let's start with what most people look at first: price. Because when you are choosing between 3 cruise lines that all promise a full week at sea for less than the cost of a weekend at Disney, the price tag alone can be tempting. So to keep things fair, we're looking at 7-day sailings for 2 and a balcony cabin on each of these cruise lines. Carnival typically starts around $1,600, with most sailings landing between $2,200 and $3,000. MSC can dip as low as $1,300, with most itineraries falling between $1,600 and $2,800. And Margaritaville at Sea is the clear bargain option, with options below $1,000 on the low end and typical 7-day sailings going for between $1,300 and $1,800. They also offer a Hero Sail Free program, which gives free cruises to military members, first responders, teachers, and other community heroes, which makes it even easier for some guests to score an ultra affordable getaway who only have to cover the cost of taxes, port fees, and gratuities, along with fuel on the Paradise. Drink packages follow a similar pattern. Carnival's Cheers program runs about $82 per person per day. MSC's premium drink package usually sits in the $70 to $85 per person per day range. And Margaritaville's ultimate beverage chill package is the most affordable at roughly $65 to $75 per person per day. That same pricing structure usually carries over to other onboard extras like spa treatments, specialty dining, and Wi-Fi as well, with Margaritaville coming in on the low end, MSC in the middle, and Carnival coming in the highest. So for pricing, Margaritaville at Sea takes the top spot, MSC comes in second, and Carnival finishes third. And guys, speaking of deals, Margaritaville at Sea's Black Friday sale is already live, and the numbers are honestly kind of wild. I priced out a 5-day sailing on their newest ship, the Islander, for our family of 4, and it came out to less than $40 per person per day. And that's not just a bed to sleep in, it includes food and entertainment too. Right now, you can get 60% off fares, 3rd and 4th guests sail free on select sailings, and up to 50% off their new Cruise Plus bundle, which includes drinks and Wi-Fi. If you've ever been curious about what cruising at this price point actually feels like, this might be the best chance you'll get. Once the excitement settles in, the ship itself becomes the star, or the struggle. This is where the differences between these 3 lines really start to show. Carnival ships are designed for action with water slides, mini golf, comedy clubs, live music, and game shows, and on their ships there is always something happening. Newer Excel-class ships feel modern and surprisingly polished, but many of the older vessels are showing their age with worn interiors and awkward layouts. Crowds can get intense on sea days, especially around the pool deck and buffet, but Carnival knows how to keep their guests entertained. It's busy and it's loud, but for social travelers, that's half the fun. MSC ships are some of the most visually impressive in the budget category, with LED domes, crystal staircases, and chrome finishes everywhere you look, giving them this high-end look at an affordable price. But they're more than just eye candy. MSC has stepped up its onboard offerings in a big way. You'll find water slides, road courses, virtual reality arcades, and an F1 simulator that's genuinely fun. Entertainment spaces feel immersive, and late night energy gives the ship real character. Now, that said, the layout can be hit or miss. The traffic flow isn't always intuitive, certain decks can feel cramped at peak times, and elevators can get overwhelmed quickly. It's a beautiful design that doesn't always function as smoothly as it looks. The new MSC World America deserves a special mention here, as it is a major step forward in a lot of these categories. But it wouldn't be fair to base all of these rankings on a single ship. Margaritaville at Sea sits at the opposite end of the spectrum. These are small, older ships that have been rethemed rather than purpose-built, but there's also a lot less people on board. And the result is a ship that's easy to navigate and rarely feels crowded, even when it's full. You're not going to find ropes courses or roller coasters here, just bars, live music, and themed lounges that carry the brand's beachy DNA. The options are limited, but the atmosphere fits perfectly with its laid-back island time philosophy. It's simple, unpretentious, and built for short, easy escapes. So for ship experience, Carnival takes first place for its nonstop variety and entertainment value. MSC earns second for its modern design and atmosphere, and Margaritaville at Sea lands third for, well, keeping things simple. Now, price might get you on board, but the vibe determines whether you'll want to come back. These three cruise lines couldn't feel more different once you step on board. Carnival is the life of the party, and sometimes the party forgets what time it started. The energy on board is nonstop with poolside contests, loud music, packed bars, and lines that somehow turn into social events. You'll see bachelorette parties next to family reunions, toddlers dancing beside tipsy uncles, and everyone just trying to outfun each other. It's vibrant, unpredictable, and occasionally chaotic. But that chaos is exactly what a lot of people came for. Carnival feels like a backyard barbecue at sea. MSC feels like an international street festival because it's lively, diverse, and at times chaotic. There are families everywhere, and the mix of cultures on board means you'll see a little bit of everything when it comes to behavior and norms. Announcements often cycle through 5 different languages. The lines stretch across the entire ship on sold-out sailings, and the energy can go from calm to chaos in about 5 seconds flat. Ships themselves are gorgeous, but the service can feel like it's still finding its rhythm. It's friendly, but honestly inconsistent. And then there's Margaritaville at Sea, which throws the playbook overboard entirely. The vibe is laid back, quirky, and all about escapism. It's Jimmy Buffett's world, and you're just vacationing in it. Think tropical shirts, blender drinks, and live music that lasts until last call. It's not built for elegance or variety. It's built for good times, Caribbean getaways, and people who want to feel like the weekend started early without being over the top like you'll find on Carnival. Each line offers a completely different flavor of budget cruising, and which one's best depends really on the kind of energy that you want to find on board. Margaritaville at Sea nails the carefree escape. MSC delivers culture and style with some rough edges, and Carnival brings the chaos for better or worse. So for this category, Margaritaville at Sea takes first, MSC earns second, and Carnival comes in at third. After a full day exploring the ship or out in a port, your cabin becomes the place where the energy finally quiets down. And each line delivers that downtime a little differently. Carnival cabins are comfortable and familiar. The layouts are practical with plenty of storage, and the newer ships have a cleaner, more modern look that is fresh compared to their older vessels. The decor isn't always going to blow you away, but the rooms do exactly what they're supposed to, which is to give you a simple, comfortable space to recharge between all the chaos happening outside your door. MSC leans towards sleek European design with modern finishes, stylish lighting, and a minimalist vibe that photographs great. But it can sometimes feel a bit too modern for its own good. Beds are firm, storage at times is tight, and the design favors looks over livability. It's beautiful, but not always the most relaxing setup if you're used to softer, cozier cabins. Margaritaville at Sea keeps things bright, colorful, and unapologetically beachy. cabins have a cheerful, tropical charm that fits the brand's laid back personality. And surprisingly, they're one of the very few cruise lines that still include nightly turn down service where they come in and make up your bed, give you fresh towels, and just make the room feel like it's ready for bedtime when you are as well. It's a small touch, but it gives the experience a bit of old school cruise warmth that nobody else offers at this price point. Though for cabins, Margaritaville at Sea takes first place for its fun decor and turn down service. MSC comes in at second with its modern design and finishes, and Carnival rounds out the list in third with practicality that gets the job done, but nothing really stands out. Food can make or break a cruise, and when you're sailing on a budget line, you quickly learn that not all meals are created equal. When it comes to variety of included options, Carnival wins hands down. You'll find burritos, burgers, pizza, barbecue, and even Shaq's Big Chicken, all at no additional cost. Now, that variety does come with a bit of fine print because Carnival is known for slipping in upcharges where you least expect them, from specialty coffees to premium entrees in the main dining room, and even upcharge food options in the buffet, which is something I've never seen on any other cruise line. Still, it's hard to argue with their options, and their dining room teams bring real energy as they sing, dance, and turn dinner into a show. And no meal is complete without Carnival's famous melting chocolate cake. It's a cruise tradition that's somehow both decadent and comforting. MSC may not be able to compete with their included options, but their specialty dining is a step up. Between the presentation, the flavors, and the plating, everything feels more refined. Their steakhouse Butcher's Cut in particular is a huge improvement, and their Wagyu strip loin is the best steak I've ever had at sea. And despite it being an upcharge, it's worth every penny. The trade-off here is that the included food can be inconsistent. Their menu options tend to lean more European, which many American and Canadian cruisers find to be a bit bland. But if you're willing to splurge a little on a specialty meal or two, MSC absolutely delivers. Margaritaville at Sea, on the other hand, keeps things simple but surprisingly satisfying. The main dining room service is excellent, and honestly, their server, Angeline, is the best I've ever had on any ship. But overall, it is friendly, attentive, and fast, and the menu has noticeably improved every time I've sailed. The portions are generous, the dishes are classic comfort food with an island twist, and it just feels relaxed. You won't find the same variety or specialty dining options, but what they do really well. So for food and dining, Carnival comes in first for its unmatched variety and energy. MSC gets second for its standout specialty options, and Margaritaville at Sea rounds things out in third with comfort food that delivers on personality, if not range. For a lot of cruisers, the real magic happens after sunset, when the drinks start flowing and the music takes over. But not all cruise bars are created equal. Carnival is the standout here with unmatched variety. You've got everything from poolside rum shacks to dueling piano bars where sing-alongs get so rowdy you'll lose your voice by night too. But the star of the show is the Alchemy Lab. It's this vintage-style cocktail lab where bartenders in white coats mix custom drinks like mad scientists. They don't just pour cocktails, they craft experiences. And if you've ever had their cucumber sunrise, you know why it's legendary. It's light, refreshing, and might just be my favorite cruise cocktail of all time. The only real downside here? Well, good luck finding a quiet spot anywhere on board. If you want just a quiet drink and a conversation, Carnival ships just aren't built for that. They are built for buzz, not peace and quiet. MSC's bars are undeniably stylish with their marble counters, glowing LED accents, and a polished upscale atmosphere that looks more luxury than budget. Their drink menus focus on the classics, and while they're not as inventive as Carnival or Margaritaville at Sea, they're consistently well made. One of the things that I really appreciate about MSC is that every bar has its own professional espresso setup, which means you can order a salted caramel espresso martini anywhere on board, which is by far the best drink MSC makes, hands down. The downside here is that their bars are almost always packed, and between the noise and the crowds, the vibe leans more busy and beautiful than relaxed and social. And as they do, Margaritaville at Sea takes a completely different approach. They're full of charm and completely free of pretense. Their bars are smaller, more personal, and packed with character. Guests can enjoy great live music, friendly bartenders, and drink menus that are fun without trying too hard. The standout venue is the Hemisphere Dancer Craft Spirits Bar. Say that 3 times fast. This bar is great, especially on the Paradise, where live piano creates an atmosphere that encourages conversations rather than competition with the DJ. My favorite drink on board is the Caribbean Mule from the 12-volt bar. It's bright, crisp, and perfectly balanced with the right mix of sweetness and bite. The drink captures everything Margaritaville at Sea stands for: easy living, good company, and a touch of island flavor that never tries too hard. So for bars and lounges, Carnival again takes first place for its unmatched variety and energy. Margaritaville at Sea earns second for its relaxed, music-driven charm, and MSC lands third for its upscale style that sometimes overshadows the fun. Entertainment can tell you a lot about a cruise line's personality. Some go for flash and spectacle, while others focus on fun and familiarity. Carnival leans heavily into audience interaction and comedy rather than traditional production shows. They have shows like Family Feud and Love and Marriage that are staples on Carnival, delivering a mix of humor, chaos, and charm that fits Carnival's funship identity. Their comedians are consistently strong, and the energy in the Punchline Comedy Club is hard to beat. Where Carnival starts to slip, though, is in its main theater lineup. On our recent celebration sailing, there was only a single full production show in the main theater. Others had all been moved to center stage, which is the space that feels more like a mall atrium than a performance venue. Talent is there, but the staging feels limited and the sight lines are absolutely awful. MSC has made major improvements for their entertainment, especially aboard the new MSC World America, where the production value, choreography, and live music have taken a noticeable step up. However, across most of their fleet, the shows still struggle to connect with American audiences. The performances lean heavily into European style and flair, which can be visually impressive but often lack the storytelling or emotional pull that makes a show memorable. They're making progress here, but they still have a long way to go on most of their fleet. Margaritaville at Sea, on the other hand, might just surprise you. Despite operating smaller, older ships, their entertainment lineup consistently punches well above its weight. Production shows are high energy, fun, and packed with familiar music that keeps audiences fully engaged from start to finish. Their show Caribbean Heat, which is largely a repeat between the Paradise and the Islander, is still a crowd pleaser thanks to its strong vocal performances and tight choreography. Their shows are not the massive blockbusters like you might find on lines like Royal Caribbean, but they're delivered with enthusiasm, heart, and they're genuinely fun, which counts for a lot. So for entertainment, Margaritaville at Sea takes first for its unexpectedly strong performances. MSC earns second for its progress, ambition, and traditional production shows, and Carnival lands third here for leaning too heavily on crowd participation instead of full-scale productions. No matter which cruise line you sail, one thing is almost always true: the crew is the heart of the experience. They are the reason many people come back, and all three of these lines have incredible teams on board. The real difference here lies not in the people themselves, but in how each cruise line chooses to allocate and support them. Carnival's crew is energetic and friendly, and they bring life to every meal, especially in the main dining room where their singing and dancing have become a signature part of the dinner experience. Issue with Carnival is not the effort, it's the manpower. They often feel stretched too thin, and that shows up in the small moments throughout the cruise, with long lines of guest services, long waits for coffee in the morning, and crowded bars where the bartenders are doing their absolute best, but they're simply outnumbered. The crew gives everything they have, but there are times when it feels like they're running on pure heart rather than the sport of their team at Carnival. MSC has come a long way in this area. Their crew has improved significantly over the past few years, and some of my favorite cruise members of all time have been on their ships. Service in the main areas still varies a bit from ship to ship, but the warmth and professionalism have grown noticeably stronger. The teams work hard and maintain a positive attitude even when clearly juggling too many responsibilities. They're trying to deliver a premium experience within the limits of a budget operation, and it shows in how hard they push to make each interaction feel personal. Margaritaville at Sea delivers an experience that feels refreshingly human. Their crew members seem genuinely happy to be on board, and they go out of their way to make their guests feel the same. Their smaller ships mean fewer passengers, shorter lines, and less stress, and that calm translates directly into better service. And you see it everywhere, from bartenders who remember your name and favorite drink to cabin stewards who take pride in their work, and because they handle fewer rooms, they have time to engage with guests and even continue offering turn down service, which is something nobody else does in this price range. The result is a cruise experience that feels personal, warm, and genuinely fun. So for crew, Margaritaville at Sea takes first place for its personal service and positive energy. MSC earns second for steady improvement and genuine effort, and Carnival lands third for enthusiasm that sometimes gets lost behind long lines and limited staffing. So we've looked at every part of the experience, from food and bars and everything in between. So now it's time to put it all together and see which of these budget cruise lines actually delivers the best overall experience for your money. And a quick reminder here that the scoring here is like golf where the lowest score wins. Carnival finishes with 18 points, which is an average of 2.25, landing them in third place. Though they offer unmatched energy and variety, with something happening around every corner, the crowds, the unpredictable chaos, and the stretched service can make even the most fun moments feel overwhelming. It's still a blast, just not always the relaxing kind. MSC edges out Carnival for second place with 17 points that brings them to an average of 2.125. Their ships look and feel more luxurious than their prices suggest, and they're getting better every year, but that style can sometimes outpace the substance. Depending on the ship, you might get an amazing experience, or you might get one that feels like it needs a bit more polish. And Margaritaville at Sea takes the win here with 13 points, which is an average of 1.625. And they proved that small ships and low fares don't have to mean a cheap experience. The service feels personal, the shows are full of life, and the vibe is pure escape. It's simple, fun, and surprisingly refined in all the right ways. But not for the bad news. There is a reason Margaritaville at Sea can sell cruises this cheap, and it's not magic. There are trade-offs behind those low fares. But the good news, once you see how they do it, it all makes sense, and well, it might just change the way you think about budget cruising. So don't stop here, check out my next video where I break down exactly why Margaritaville at Sea cruises are so cheap. If you're ready, I am. Let's go.